Yesterday I got a call from the one of the partners of this ranch. Said, 80 of the bees are dying. Come up here and figure out why. And so jumped in the pickup and came up here, and it was very obvious it was an acute bee kill, some type of insecticide or fungicide or some synergistic reaction with chemicals around the area was killing the bees. They were dying today as they were looking at them. And the first sets they were looking at, we seen bees laying on the ground. We found a queen staggering out in front of a hive. Anyway, that's what we want to do, is find out what's affecting it. This family spent a lot of money for these bees, and they're counting on them for their pollination, and it'd be terrible to think that they were doing something that was completely legal and by the book, yet it was hurting the bees. And if a neighbor was being sloppy and hurting the bees, that'd be really bad too, but something's definitely hurting the bees. How many are you here?
We just finished 8 here.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Good.
And that'll
Good.
give you enough to
Yeah.
compare.
Well, when they
say,
do the
two
chemical
groups.
analysis, I know, they'll have enough to tease out a difference. Nobody's going to want to admit that this happened because, this man spent hundreds of thousands of dollars to rent these bees, and he has probably millions of dollars worth of nuts at risk. And, the guy down the road is not going to come up and say, hey, well, I put a cocktail on my apricots that happened to kill your bees. Or nobody's going to say anything like that because they don't want the liability. So anyway, it's really hard to track these things down. That's why we have to have lab work done. So, it can be prevented. I mean, you can't bring the dead back to life, but, you can keep more from getting killed. It's really important to have good stewardship while they're in the almonds, so they're available for everything else. This is the crop 100% of the bees are exposed to. How bees leave this crop is how they start the next crop. After this, it'll be a real rush to get the bees to the apples and the cherries, and after that, the seed crops across the nation. If we put the same economic value on a honeybee as cattle, we wouldn't have a pesticide investigator out there for this kind of losses. We'd have the FBI out there. Honeybees are kind of thought of as, oh, well, they'll just make more. People talk about the financial viability of the bee industry, but what I think I'm more concerned with is the biological viability of the bee industry. It's like, can we divide them fast enough to make up for the losses?